and got started. Got that first commission check. I'll never forget. It popped up on my phone. It came from Mutual of Omaha. That comes around like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and I was like, I'm gonna give it another week. I think I'll try it again. Why not?
I'm telling you, this is a call you're going to look back on and go, I didn't know my hand could write so fast. That's what you're in for right now. Hello, everybody. Grady Pulse, and welcome to the American Agency Call. I am so excited today to have Tre Howe on with us. He is joining us live from Tampa by way of Dallas, and he also is an Eagles fan with a 15-year-old baby boy, and he writes $100,000 a month. I've had the pleasure of getting to know of him and recently get to know him more. And Morgan and Ryan couldn't speak higher of you, but it doesn't matter how high they speak of you. It matters how well you perform. And to see your performance just coming into FFL and hitting the cover off the ball, back-to-back 100K months, issue paying, great business, learning about how to make your business even stickier and even better. Dude, I'm just so excited for this call because that's what we try to do. Let's find out. Let me back up. That's what's great about FFL is that a guy like you who goes, I'm killing it. And maybe in your mind, you're like, I'm not even killing it yet. But in a lot of people's mind, you are killing it. But I'm confident enough in myself. I'm confident enough in the opportunity. And I know how big this insurance world is, how many clients are out there that I'm happy to share what's working for me, and hopefully it'll help some other people. So drop a 1 in the chat below if you're excited to grow and get better today. And without further ado, Tre, how you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm great. I'm great. No complaints at all. I'm excited to be here.
Well, and I'm excited you're on here too. It seems like you like shoes.
Yeah. I purposely did that on purpose. So yeah, I'm a sneakerhead. Well, back in the day, I was. A lot of my exclusives is more so in the room, but this is just like my man cave right here.
I love it, bro. Well, good. Well, so what I want people to do is to, meet you. How'd you find insurance? How'd you find us? What have you been doing? Give us some backstory, some, ups and downs. Were you always this suave? Did you take some courses? Like, how did you become you? And then, then we'll jump into like some sales scripts, what you're saying, et cetera. But I want people to know some backstory so they can go where they can find some relatability with you.
Yeah, no, 1,000%, man. My backstory is, I mean, it would take all day, but I'm not gonna do that, right? Like we got to be respectful of everybody's time. But long story short, I probably lived in almost every city that you could possibly think of. And most people ask me, they'd be like, "Well, are you like a military brat? This and that?" I'm like, "Nah, none of that." Like my mom, she was actually she was like the head saleswoman or whatever it was, like the person that would go to different Sephora's all across the country back in the day and would literally open up new stores all across the country. And so we used to always have to move. But I like to say I'm from Texas. I was born and raised in Arkansas though. And yeah, I mean, when I went to college and played college basketball out in Nebraska, and I know another state, pray for me, but yeah, like I went out and played college basketball in Nebraska. Got a degree in sports marketing, got a minor in kinesiology. My mom was a PT at that time, and so she wanted me to do physical therapy, but it wasn't even like 2 weeks into that semester, my freshman semester, I was like, this and basketball don't mix together. I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna just take an easier route. So ended up just focusing in on that. Graduated college back in 2017, and when I graduated, was blessed with the opportunity to continue my talents a little bit further over in Barcelona, Spain, playing basketball. And so had a phenomenal time over there. Probably the best 6 months of my life. Once I ended up doing that, I came to a realization pretty quick because I was always brought up that, you want to go to college. Once you go to college, you get a degree. Once you get a degree, you go get a job. Once you go get a job, you work your way up until you get to the position that you want to, right? And so I knew pretty early, Grady, that there was only going to be, one LeBron James out there. So my career probably wasn't going to last as long as I probably would want it to. So ended up coming back pretty quickly. And when I came back, the first thing I did, I actually moved to Dallas, Texas with my mom, and I stayed there for like 2 weeks. And she was telling me to like take out the trash, go drop off my sisters to school and all this other stuff. I'm like, I can go to school to get a degree and just to come back home, and my mama telling me to do all this stuff. Like, nah, forget that. Like, I'm moving. So decided I'm moving 2 weeks into moving back home to Houston, Texas. And truthfully, that's like where my whole sales career started. And a lot of life lessons started right there too. So I ended up joining this industry. Well, I'll tell you this, I was actually going to Houston because I wanted to get into the management training program for enterprise. I don't know if you know about that or not, but yeah, so I
Yeah.
was like trying to do the whole enterprise route. And listen, like I was just like so excited about it. Went through 2 interviews, didn't get it. And so at this point, I had an apartment out there. I got my car, I got all this other stuff, and I got like real life bills to take care of. So I'm panicking just a little bit, but I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Like I got money that's saved up. I'm fine. We fast forward about a month later. I ended up finally just saying the hell with it. I got a job. It was similar. Excuse me. It was similar, but it was with this guy named, and he's still my mentor to this day, but his name is Garrett Robinson. He was running this thing called a management training program as well. But the whole purpose of the business was to be able to take you from doing direct sales and then teaching you the back end of a business, and then just kind of going from there. So there were steps into
Sure.
getting to where I want to be. So my first step was obviously just going out having face-to-face interaction with clients. So I was that guy that you was probably dodging at Sam's Club, trying to ask you who do you got for your TV and internet? Because I was the direct TV guy.
Okay.
In Houston, it was actually Xfinity, but so I was doing that. And it's so crazy because like my first week I zeroed, second week I was like 3 days in, and I literally was just zeroing every single day. And quite frankly, this was a commissions only job, right? So like I had no choice but to like really get after it. And at that time, I didn't have the mindset that I have right now. As a matter of fact, I'll never forget. It was that Wednesday. It was a Wednesday right before the Super Bowl. I called my mom. I was like, listen, like, and again, I probably was using some profanity, but that's beside the point. But I was like, Mom, listen, this ain't it. Like, I think I'm gonna come back home, go ahead and start training again, try to do this overseas thing again. Cause like this ain't working at all. Like I'm about to get evicted. Like it's bad, right? Like I've never seen an eviction notice until I got out on my own. And so my mom let me ramble, do what I do. And she said, well, I guess, I didn't raise a quitter, so I guess they'll see you in the office tomorrow, right? And I was like, here she go doing the mama stuff again. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, they're gonna see me in the office tomorrow. And so I went into the office. Listen, I prayed the morning before, came in with a better mentality. I was super excited that Thursday came around. And Grady, I want you to take a guess of how many sales I got that day.
5.
Zero.
Okay.
Zeroed again. So the mama didn't work. The mama talk didn't work. Prayer didn't work at that time. And I'm just like, man, like, what am I doing? Like, this is not working. But I'll never forget it. It was literally Super Bowl Sunday. My mentor had invited me over to his house. And he was like, man, listen, like, you got to understand the sales thing is almost like playing ball or playing on the football field, which is, when you're out talking to people, there's a such thing called the law of averages, which is at the end of the day, you got to figure out how many no's is it going to take in order for you to get a yes. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, break it down like this. If you are going against LeBron, I tell the story all the time, but he was like, if you're going against LeBron James, right? Y'all at the Staples Center, now it's crypto arena, but y'all at the Staples Center, and LeBron gets 10 shots from the 3-point line. You get 100 shots. Who's going to win? I had to think about it because I was like, obviously, I want to say LeBron. That's my favorite player. But I'm like, nah, like I get 100 shots. I'm going to win, obviously, right? And so that moment was when it clicked, where it's like, regardless of where you're at or what you're trying to do or how you're trying to be successful, like you can't cheat the learning curve, right? And so as a brand new person, I'm looking at everybody else and I'm like, well, I want you to send me to this store. I want you to send me with this person. And I'm just blaming everything else without blaming myself. And, I came to realization real quick that you have to put in the work and understand that there's going to be a lot of no's before you get your yes. Once you get your yes, now you have your ratio of how many no's you need in order to get a yes. And so once I made that click, I literally shrunk it to where it's like, you know what? All right, cool. It took me 120 no's to get one sale. All right, next time I'm gonna try to shoot for 100. Next time I'm gonna try to shoot for 80. And it literally just started clicking like that to where, at that time I'd set the record for the fastest time being done throughout the management training program, which was 4.5 months. So ended up going from not knowing anything or doing anything with, face-to-face sales to learning how to, once I mastered myself, now I'm learning how to build a team. How can I teach somebody else how to do it? Then I'm learning the back end of the business. Then I started opening up offices, and it was great. I got burnt out on that career though, right? I got burnt out. It was 6, 7 days out of the week. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a workaholic. So like I didn't know how to pace myself at all. It was just like Tre Howe, you go 100 miles per hour, that's it. Right. And it wasn't good for me. And so ended up leaving that career. And it's so crazy how it happened, but it was literally right after COVID. Ended up leaving that career and started with solar. And so I was working with Momentum Solar for a while. Never necessarily had to go out into the field and knock on doors unless I was helping train somebody. But I came into a managerial role in Dallas, Texas, and then ended up eventually getting promoted into like an assistant regional where I was looking over two different cities in Texas, and then eventually got promoted. This was 2023. No, 2022. I'm so sorry. Got promoted to come here to Florida and run the whole state of Florida, as well as Georgia and Alabama, and be a regional director for them. So loved every bit of that. Was making really good money, at least I thought at that time, right? Making 105, 105,000 plus commissions on literally every single sale that goes on in all of the cities that we represented. So it was great. I was salary, right? So loved it. However, there's always a however, right? Corporate America, me and corporate America really don't get along too well. And that's nothing, no shade to them, right? I say this often and I'll continue to say it, which is this. Number one, there's not a person in this world besides myself that can tell me how much I'm worth. You can't put a dollar amount behind my work ethic because I guarantee you I can outwork anybody in corporate America, but if they're higher than me, they're going to get paid more. I never liked that at all. And then I'm a traveler. I like to travel, Grady. I'm Caribbean as well. I didn't say that at the beginning, but I'm Caribbean too. So like I have a house back at home in Antigua that's being built right now and everything. Like so, like I'm big. I'm big on traveling. And I'll never forget, this was 2023. 2023, right around my birthday in March. I flew out to Paris to go see one of my best friends. He's still over there playing right now, but I go over there every year to go see him play around my birthday. So I went over there, came back, and my company wasn't happy that I left, and I was gone for 2 weeks. Now, granted, I had the number one region in our whole organization, but they were upset because I left. And at that moment, I knew right then, I was like, nah, I'd rather go back to the entrepreneur side and say the hell with this because this isn't good for me. I don't like that. I don't like being restricted. Like if I bust my butt and work hard, I should be able to also reap the benefits of that too, right? And so ended up stepping away. This was literally April of 2023, and I was technically in corporate America. I was jobless until about August of 2023. My girlfriend, at the time, she was like, "Yo, I know this guy. His name was Drake Sanders. He runs Financially Fluent. Like he's really good. Like I think you should do it. It's insurance." I looked at her and I was like, I used to recruit insurance agents. Why on God's green earth would I go sell insurance? Right? I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like you crazy. There's no way, right?
Way, bro.
There's always a way, right? so I'm like, nah, you tripping. There's no way. Not me. Anyway, she sweet talked me into doing it, and I was like, you know what? I mean, it's fully commissioned anyway, so I might as well just take the test, lock in. I passed the test in like 5 days after getting the study material because I wasn't doing anything anyway. I was like, you know what? I mean, it can't hurt. Like while I'm looking for another job, it's not going to hurt. And got started. Got that first commission check. I'll never forget. It popped up on my phone. It came from Mutual of Omaha. That comes around like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm gonna give it another week. I think I'll try it again. Why not? Kept going, right? And obviously, going throughout my career, started off, pretty hot because I was a warm market like guru, I guess you could say at that time. So I was literally pitching people, right? Like, and I even tell my new people this, right? Like, I used to literally talk to my family, my friends, even people on social media and be like, hey, listen, I'm starting a brand new career. I really don't know if it's going to work out. And I do want to just try this pitch with you. You just let me know if you would buy or not. Okay. And once they be like, yeah, I pretty much got them at that point. So they didn't know that, but I go ahead and go through my pitch. And then at the very end, they'd be like, wait, Trey, that was good. But like, I actually want that. So like, can I get that? And literally took off. My first month, I ended up doing 26,000 IP. Second month 23,000 IP. Then third month is when the hardship hit, because I mean, yeah, you can have a warm market, but eventually it's gonna dry up. Like, I don't know that many people. Like, I'm well known as far as like the basketball community and whatnot, but not enough to just keep going and never have to buy leads. So ended up having to buy leads, and that's where the the gratitude and understanding, like, it was more work to be done, came in pretty quickly. So had to become a student all over again, really understanding like how to get people on the phone. Like, I was calling these leads and I'm doing this, and I was that person that was always like, these leads suck, they're horrible, I want those leads, I want to buy those leads, how much are those leads, let's do those leads. And again, I fell into the same thing that I did with my first direct sales job, which I'm trying to blame everything else instead of taking accountability for myself, right? And so understanding that if you're going to be a big student of the game, I found this out. I actually heard this from one of my mentors, but I was always told that the best ability is availability, right? And like, if I'm available to be real with myself and understand I have to have time to really settle in and get really good at this damn thing called sales over the phone, telesales, I have to be available mentally to be able to collect all of the information I need to, and then go out and actually apply it, right? So obviously just networking like crazy. I'm always looking at the leaderboard, because I started off with FFL. So I was always looking at the leaderboard. I had Elijah Goins at that time in my organization. He was phenomenal. But I'm just always looking at different people, and I'm like, yo, like, I got to talk to this person. I got to talk to this person. I'm writing down notes. I'm doing these type of calls. And I was just eager to get better, because it's like, when you get behind something that you genuinely are happy about, which is life insurance, because I'm just going to be honest with you, Grady, I come from a culture where like it's not really talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are in like my culture, and like my people back home in Arkansas, we don't really care about life insurance. We don't care until somebody gets older, or somebody's about to die, or they get sick, right? And then what I found out was like, man, that's too late. Like, there's so many benefits to actually having life insurance. And so, me learning that early on within my career, I got very passionate behind it, to where it was like I wanted to educate. I wanted to, be able to tell people more about life insurance, regardless if it was an IUL, if it was just final expense, or if it was mortgage protection term, whatever, right? Like, I got really excited about this. So I fell in love with the grind of being able to just say, you know what, I'm gonna put in the time now, right? I'm gonna do what I need to do, and then eventually, things start to click. I'll never forget. It was October 14th. Things start to click pretty well. The rest was history. That's why I'm here.
Bro, fantastic story and so many lessons. And I've picked out two things that I in myself call like life's defining moments. And one was when you went home to live back with your mom for 2 weeks, and she's having you take out the trash and do stuff around the house.
Yeah.
It was your sister you're driving her around?
Yeah. I got twin sisters, and then I got a 15. Well, she's 5 years younger than me, but at that time she was like 15, 16.
Yeah, but mom's job is to delegate and get stuff done. And she's like, well, you're here, you're not doing much, so do these things.
Right.
But the thought process you had and the maturity you had goes, my times, I love my mom, I love my family, but my time's more valuable than this. My job now is to go plant seeds and go eventually harvest. I need to go make money. And I love my family, but I'll come home, but this is my time to go. So that was a big moment for you, because some people they get caught up in the minutia of life, and they go, well, I'm doing stuff. Are you making money? Are you making progress? Are you making dials? Are you growing as a person?
Right.
And the second one was when you went and visited your buddy in Paris, and you took off. Number one team, number one region, top manager. I've got money saved up. I've done good work for you. I've set all these people up. I want to go off for take a little vacation. You didn't leave for 2 months. You left for 2 weeks, 10 working days. You take off. And I'm sure you were still responding to texts. I'm sure you were still working, but you weren't in the office or whatever they're requiring you for. You come back home and they treat you like you're some low-level peon that just, left spoiled food in the fridge. You're like, it's like, excuse like, and that's a huge moment too. There's many people that have good careers making money, but they fall victim to what others will tolerate or dictate. I often say is that many people will take what the minimum amount they will be paid before they'll quit. And so the philosophy in that is for you, you're like, I'm worth more. And how many people are on here now that have made the decision they're worth more? How many people have decided to go seek more? And dude, that's just the way you just told that is something that anyone can resonate, but are they mature enough or driven enough or mentally disciplined enough to make the hard choices, to get out of a situation that they love being in, but they know they need to flourish, and to get out of an environment where they're not respected and treated, and to take the talents they've developed and to go build something else?